What's up, everybody? Big Herc 916 getting down with Fresh Out. You know how we do it over here. We have Lady Perp back. It's been
Mhm.
a minute since we had Lady Perp on, and man, she had to take another trip. So she's going to explain what went down and what she's been up to since her last interview. So, Lady Perp, share what our audience, what's been up with you over the last couple years.
Okay, so the last case I talked about paroling for my California case, I was doing good. I ended up getting involved in a relationship, and it was just crazy because I was living at my mom's. I met somebody. I didn't actually meet him. His mom, his dad, and my mom grew up together. So I figured, a friend of the family. We ended up hooking up, and from there, it was just He ended up moving from California over here. We got a place. I got custody of my daughter back, and I was doing really, really good. And I ended up catching a case that sent me back to prison. Yeah. So I went back to prison for a little bit. It's just crazy. The whole way that it all played out, because I would think after years of being clean and off of drugs, and when I moved away, that I would never go back. And I ended up going back clean and sober. Yeah.
So what actually led to the charges? I mean, it would appear to be like it was somebody that you could have a decent relationship with. What actually happened? Somebody call the cops on you? I mean, how'd you get twisted?
So this was it. He had priors that I didn't know of him beating up his girlfriends and whatnot. And he seemed like to be the nicest guy in the world to me. So when we moved in together, we actually moved his mom in with us. I was the only one working. They were both on unemployment. I had just lost a baby. I had got pregnant by him, lost a baby, and then we had gotten to an argument. And when we had gotten to an argument, it got physical. And I'm talking about like really, really physical. And his mom ended up walking in on us when we were fighting, but she told the cops that we were wrestling, and she left. A lot of things could have been prevented, but the way it all went down, it just happened so fast. I just remember we had a big argument, and I just remember he put hands on me, and I remember falling to the ground, and I could hear everything around me. And I don't know if I was being kicked, hit, what, but I just felt like blows coming to me from every angle, and I couldn't see anything. So
Man,
I was like blacked out. So after that had happened, she walked in, I guess, seen us wrestling supposedly, and then that's when she took off. She left. So she left the house. So after he had beat me up, like it was really, really bad. Like my front teeth are fake. My teeth got knocked out. Like it was just horrible. So
oh,
I ended up getting up, and when I got up, I felt like I had to defend myself, and I felt like he beat me like so bad, like I was scared. So I went to the kitchen. I ended up getting a knife, and I went back, and I stabbed him. And I stabbed him first. I don't know how it was, but I think it was just like a get away from me type, and it cut him. And then after that, he slipped, he fell, and I stabbed him a few more times, which was kind of dangerous because I guess when he lifted up his arm to block the stabs, I stabbed him on the side. And that was like the worst one because of his lungs. So after all that had went down, he took off out the house, and he left like running out the house, and I ran after him at first. And then I guess he called his mom and told his mom that I attacked him. So she ended up calling the cops on me. So the cops ended up going.
wow.
Yeah,
When the
re-
cops came, would they?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, so what? When the cops got there and they seen your situation and how you looked, and then seeing what I mean, how did they handle that? I mean, because that's like both sides.
Yeah, it didn't work out that way for me. I think it had a lot to do with her calling, her side, his side, my past history being in prison and all that stuff. I think a lot of that had to play in it. So when the cops pulled up, I was out in the street, and you could clearly see I was beat up. I mean, my teeth were knocked out. I had like my forehead was swollen. I hadn't got black eyes yet, but I was really swollen from my face, and my shirt was ripped. My clothes were ripped. And they didn't really care anything. They just were asking me about the weapon. They did the whole weapon thing, back up, get on the ground, all that stuff. They searched me. I didn't have anything. Um, I guess they went and met up with him, and he really didn't say much, that he just didn't want to press charges. So when I went, okay, so after that happened, they started questioning me about what happened. And me right off bat, being doing time before, I want my lawyer. I want my lawyer, which kind of backfired on me. I should have said my part, because in the end I ended up going to jail, and nothing ended up happening to him.
And he had priors too?
No. No, he had priors of beating up his exes and stuff like that, but he didn't have any cases like that. And me, I had a criminal background, and I had just got
Oh.
out. So I think that played a big part in this whole case. Um, like I said, I showed them. I mean, I didn't even have to show them. You could clearly see me that I had been in an altercation, but because he was hurt more than me, and he ended up having to get air vac'd to the hospital because of the area where we lived in, and because of everything his mom had said, they ended up charging me, and I ended up going to prison again.
So did you have to take a plea deal, or did you go to trial, or what happened with the
So what
court?
happened was, when I got there, which was actually a good thing, because I came over here, I paroled here on a compact transfer, and I did all my probation here and everything, so I was clean. So I had prior cases in California that never followed me over here. So by the time they gave me a deal, it was a really good deal. It was 2 years and 3 months. And at first I was trying to get it lower, because I've never had any violent crimes. All my crimes before were all drugs, sales, stuff like that. Nothing. I've never had a violent crime. So I was trying to get them to drop lower, and then my lawyer had came back, and she was like, you know what? She was like, I would just take this deal, because um, it's a really good deal. So I signed it. And then later I went back, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to withdraw my plea, and I want to get something lower. I think I could get like a year and 6 months. And when I did that, she was like, don't do it, because we already got your record back, and your term wasn't even supposed to start at that. It was supposed to start at 3.7. So thank God I had already signed
Mm.
that. So I ended up taking that deal for 3 years and 7 months. He actually went, I mean, 2 years and 3 months. He actually went to the court, and he talked to the judge and tried to get them like to lower my sentence and stuff like that, because in all reality, like, it was self-defense, and I felt like nobody was going to save me. You know what I mean? I mean, I was beat like a man, and you could clearly see that I was beat
Wow.
like a man, and they really didn't care. They didn't help me whatsoever. Everything was just on me, on me. And I think it was because he was hurt more than I was. And then what bit me in the butt too was because I never talked to the cops. I never told them my side. It was just their side against me.
So basically, whatever observation they made and report they made, and then that was it.
Yes, exactly. And then when it hit the news too, it kind of like, it hit the news in the newspaper, it got me mad, because it said that I attacked him, which the mom had said I attacked him with a knife. I never attacked him. I defended myself. Like, and everything that's put out there, it made me look really, really bad. So my family didn't even know I was in jail or anything like that. And they ended up seeing me on the news and the newspaper and all that. And then that's when they were like, what went wrong? Why would she attack him? They didn't know. So they were curious as to what would lead to that. What would lead to me attacking him like that with a knife? So when I was in county, one of my cousins did a visit with me, a video visit, and that's when they seen my face. And it was crazy, because I didn't bruise up until about 2 days of being there. And then I remember I was in the holding, in not in the holding cell, but I was in Pinal County, and they had pulled me out, and they were like, "Who jumped you?" And I was like, "What do you mean, who jumped me?" I was like, I came in like this. They literally thought I got jumped in there. That's how bad my face was. And I showed them my wristband. I was like, I came in like this. And they didn't believe me at first. And then other girls from in there were telling them, no, she came in like that. She just didn't bruise up until a few days later. So my family ended up doing the video visit, and then they seen what had happened, and they were like, oh my God, like, now we know why you did what you did. They made it seem like you just attacked him for no reason, which it wasn't like that. That was just all their side.
The domestic violence thing, man, is so crazy because a lot of times whoever calls the cops first gets the upper hand,
Yeah,
and especially for women, I mean, when you're dealing with, I mean, what do you do? I mean, you got a man literally beating you, and if you, in the process of defending yourself or trying to, you know, not get hurt as bad, you hurt that person, they're holding you liable. But what are you supposed to do? I mean, I think
exactly.
it's a topic that is not really addressed enough, and I think a lot of this stuff going on with this whole gender thing, it's blurring the lines because to try to compare a man and a woman, it's just you can't compare it. You can't compare it
Exactly.
when a man, you know, starts beating on. It's not. I don't give a if it's a little guy. If he's a man, he has a different type of strength, and when he
Exactly.
hits and does things, and it's just different. So I just find that this very I don't know, it's just so crazy. And I guess because of just how the laws work. But I mean, did they come and take pictures? Was there anybody who came and saw you and did a medical report, or they
Yes.
seen your teeth? I mean, did they any of that play a factor?
They took pictures and everything. They actually, when I got, they were trying to scare me because I wouldn't tell my side of the story. So when I got to the little police station, they took pictures of my hands, they took pictures of my clothes, they took pictures of my mouth, my face. And then I was talking, the detective pulled me out to talk to me, and he was like, we're going to try to get you for attempted murder. And I was like, attempted murder? And he was like, is there anything you want to tell me? I said, no, there's nothing I want to tell you. Like, I don't even have to say anything. You don't see it. Like, you don't see that there was an altercation. It wasn't one sided. It's not like I attacked him. No, I was physically hurt. But when they came and they asked me if I wanted medical, and I denied everything. That's just going to jail so much in prison. You want to avoid all this stuff. You learn to just shut up and just ask for a lawyer, and that's what I did, and that kind of affected me in the long run. And I ended up having to do time, and he didn't have to do anything. He actually stood
Now,
out.
in a situation like that, you think if you would have explained, would that have hurt your case or helped your case? Because I know whenever there's a shooting and somebody comes, you always like, hey, I don't know, there's a body right there.
Yes.
I don't know. I need to talk to a lawyer. I mean, you're not supposed to. You have the right to not incriminate yourself, and people think, and the law, people are like, oh, the police, you're not supposed to talk to the police.
Yeah.
Legal counsel, the police are there to take a report, but they're not there to really, as far as when it comes to your case, it can hurt you. But in your situation, in this particular instance, do you think it hurt you, or were you able, even with your talking with your lawyer afterwards, did it help you, or how would you say that played out in this situation?
I think I should have said more on my part, because I think that's why everything went down the way that it did, because I didn't speak up on anything, and it didn't become a self-defense case because I never said anything. I just rode the wave off of what they said, and I just wrote it. You know what I mean? So it affected me. I think it affected my case in a real way because it was self-defense. I mean, I don't know why they didn't see it, or how they didn't see it, or where they missed it, or how they could just go off of what she said and not see me there too, beat up. You know what I mean? And just, yeah, but I think I should have said more
Well,
on it.
Well, in your situation where I think because his mom actually, there was nothing contradicting what she said, and being that it was a domestic violence situation, I know. I remember seeing something one time, and this guy came and was beating on the door, and the father said leave, and he was threatening the daughter, and the dude was crazy, and they shot him. They shot him through the door, and killed the dude. But when the cops came, he explained it. We told him to leave. They had it on ring camera, and all that. Basically, the case got, they never got prosecuted. And they were like, the other family was like, well, he didn't have to shoot him. The dude was beating it. He's trying to break in the house,
He was scared.
So
Yes.
I think I mean, it's terrible. I mean, for a woman to have a guy trying to aggressively hurt her, and you're talking about, you're thinking about your life. In my opinion, if the cops come in a situation like that, hey, this guy attacked me and I defended myself. And in a situation like that, I don't know how it could be harmful in your case because,
Exactly.
like, it's obviously. you were you were hurt. You were visibly hurt. So,
Yeah.
oh man, that's just
I
crazy.
think
I mean,
that's where I fell short is because I didn't speak on it. Because after going to jail so many times when I was an addict, just to keep your mouth shut and ask for your lawyer. And that's the only thing I did. I asked for my lawyer right away. Even when they tried to talk to me, I didn't talk to them. I didn't say anything. I just rode the wave and it played against me. It did.
yeah, because that case was a little bit different than getting caught with drugs. I mean, man, you're talking about somebody like a physical altercation, so
Mm.
it's a
Yeah.
little bit different, I would say, in a case like that. How much time did you have to do off of that?
So I ended up taking that deal for 2 years and 3 months, and I went to prison over here in Perryville, and I did 85% of that.
Wow, okay, 85%. Wow,
Hmm.
man,
Yeah. So
that's rough. I mean, going through there that last time. I mean, were you just looking around like almost like tripping out, like, damn, I'm back here and dealing with this? I mean, were you looking around because your level of consciousness when we did our interview, you really, you were aware of what's going on in the
yeah.
system and how it's all messed up. I mean, how were you looking at the time when you were in there? With your state of mind that you're in now. How was it? I mean, I know, like, when you see stuff now, you're like, you don't see it the same as you did when you
Yeah.
first went in.
I didn't. I actually, the times that I was there before, I knew I did something wrong and I deserved to be there. And I had to sit still to get my mind right. This time my mind was right and I knew I wasn't in the wrong. And I felt like I thought about everything. I thought about like, damn, do I really regret doing what I did, or do I regret like what would have happened if I wouldn't have defended myself? Where would it have escalated to? That, I mean, you never know, you know what I mean? So like when I sat in there, I was disappointed in myself, but then again, I was like, why be disappointed? Like I defended myself. I was upset with the fact that I didn't speak up as much as I should have, because I think that would have helped me a lot, and maybe he would have went to jail too. You know what I mean? Instead of just me going to jail. When I sat in there too, I never thought
What'd
when
your
I got
family
out.
say?
Well, sorry, what was that?
No, I was saying, like, after your family, because they knew his mom and you were working, they were basically unemployed. I mean, what'd your family say about the situation after they found out, like, what happened? I mean, how they take it?
So they didn't want nothing to do. They were upset because he was going around telling people that I attacked him. The same way it came out on the news, he wasn't really telling everybody the truth. So everybody was kind of taking his side. And it wasn't until my family did that video visit and see my face, and they were like, "Oh, now we know why she did what she did. Look at her. Like, look at her." Like, I was literally like, my face, it looked like I got in a car accident. That's how bad it was. Like, it was horrible. It was horrible. And so my family at the end, they were like, they understood. My mom was a little upset because I had just got custody back on my daughter. And when this happened, I had to give custody back to my mom. So it took me away from my
Man,
family. You know what I mean? It really sucked. And then I never been to jail clean and sober off of drugs. So having to sit there with a bunch of people that been in my shoes, you know what I mean? Before, that kind of deserved to be there. Like, it was a whole different vibe, a whole different vibe. So this time I just went in with the mentality like, I'm going to work, 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 and just hurry up, do my time and get out.
uh, well, we're going to get into some more questions. I mean, man, like I said, I have so much more to ask you, but I want to save it for another interview. So hey, here we have it. Big Herc 916, Lady Purpz, fresh out.